The diplomatic station orbiting Nexus 7 hummed with the usual cacophony of alien languages, but Farhat heard none of it. His attention was locked on the Xalari ambassador gliding across the observation deck. Elegant, predatory, and utterly unreadable. Her name was Elsa, though that was the human approximation. Her actual name involved harmonics that could shatter glass. She was all flowing silver fur, luminescent eyes, and an unnerving grace that made every human instinct scream both danger and beautiful simultaneously. Just another xenopolitician, Farhat thought, adjusting his collar. Probably thinks humans are barely sentient apes. Elsa's head snapped toward him, those prismatic eyes narrowing. Her tail, thick and muscular, twitched once. Then she turned fully, crossing the distance between them in 3 silent strides. "Careful, human," she purred, her voice a melody wrapped in warning. "I can hear everything." Farhat's blood turned to ice. What? "Your thoughts." She tilted her head, whiskers trembling with what might have been amusement. "They broadcast quite loudly. Most species evolved past such. Leaky minds millions of years ago." The color drained from Farhat's face. Every classified briefing, every tactical assessment, every private thought he'd ever had in the presence of aliens, suddenly felt exposed, naked. You're telepathic?" "We prefer mentally aware." Elsa circled him slowly, her gaze never leaving his. "And before you panic further, no, I cannot read everything. Only surface thoughts. The ones you practically shout into the void." Farhat's mind raced, which only made things worse. He tried to think of nothing, which of course meant thinking about thinking of nothing, which spiraled into, "You're thinking very loudly about not thinking," Elsa observed, settling onto her haunches. "Fascinating. Is this a defense mechanism, or simply how human cognition operates?" "We didn't know," Farhat managed, his throat dry. "The Xalari never mentioned, because we assumed it was obvious." She gestured with one elegant paw. "Every species in the Galactic Assembly has some form of mental shielding. Natural evolution, cybernetic enhancement, cultural disciplines passed down for eons. But humans?" Her tail swished. "You arrived at the stars with your minds wide open, broadcasting everything." The implications crashed over Farhat like a tidal wave. "Every negotiation, every trade deal, every military discussion. How long have you known?" "Since first contact." Elsa's expression softened, or at least Farhat thought it did. Reading Xalari emotions was still an inexact science. "Your Admiral Chen was thinking about her daughter's birthday during the initial treaty signing. Captain Morrison was mentally rehearsing his speech. Ambassador Walsh was worried about whether his hairpiece looked convincing." Despite everything, Farhat almost laughed. "So we've been, what? The galactic laughingstock?" "Oh, quite the opposite." Elsa leaned forward, and suddenly her voice carried none of its earlier playfulness. "You terrify them, Farhat, every single one of them." "What? How?" "We're the newest species, the least advanced. The most honest." Elsa's eyes gleamed. "Do you understand what you've accomplished? You negotiated 37 treaties, established trade routes with 16 civilizations, and prevented 4 wars, all while every other party could hear your actual intentions. No deception. No hidden agendas, just raw, unfiltered human stubbornness and sincerity." Farhat stared at her, his thoughts stuttering. "But that's not an advantage. That's a vulnerability." "Is it?" Elsa rose, pacing to the viewport where Nexus 7's rings shimmered in the starlight. "The Vexorian Empire tried to manipulate you. They heard your diplomats think, 'This seems unfair, but maybe we can compromise,' an assumed weakness. Instead, you built a coalition that forced them to negotiate fairly. The Jacquard Collective attempted intimidation. They heard your captains think, 'I'm scared, but I won't abandon my crew,' and mistook it for cowardice. You held the line until they respected you." She turned back to him, and for the first time, Farhat saw something in her expression he recognized: respect. "Every other species," Elsa continued, "has evolved elaborate mental defenses, layers of deception, cultural facades. We negotiate with masks upon masks. But humans? You think, 'I want peace, but I will fight if I must,' and you mean it. You think, 'I don't trust you yet, but I'm willing to try,' and you do. That terrifying, beautiful honesty has reshaped galactic politics in 3 decades. Farhat's mind was spinning, but this time with wonder rather than panic. Then why tell me? Why reveal this now? Elsa's tail curled around her feet. Because the Corventhi are coming to the assembly next cycle. They are masters of mental manipulation, capable of turning thoughts against their thinkers. They will attempt to use your openness as a weapon. She paused. And because I find I respect your species too much to let them succeed through ignorance. You're helping us, Purred said slowly. Why? She was quiet for a long moment, her luminescent eyes studying him. Then softly, because 6 months ago during the Andromeda crisis I heard Ambassador Walsh think, even if we disagree, they deserve to be heard. No calculation. No strategy, just conviction. In 300 years of diplomacy I had never heard a thought so pure. Purred felt something shift in his chest. So what do we do? I will teach you, Elsa said. Mental disciplines. Shielding techniques. Not to hide your intentions, but to protect your thoughts from those who would weaponize them. She extended a paw, a gesture that bridged their two species, if you're willing. Purred looked at her offered paw, then at the stars beyond the viewport, a galaxy that had seemed so vast and incomprehensible just hours ago. Now it felt different. Dangerous, yes, but navigable. He took her paw. When do we start? Elsa's whiskers twitched in what might have been a smile. You just did. And Purred? Her eyes gleamed with mischief. Stop thinking about how attractive you find my species. It's distracting. Purred's face burned crimson, but Elsa was already walking away, her tail swishing in clear amusement. Behind her, Purred thought, very carefully, very deliberately. Thank you. Elsa paused at the doorway, glanced back, and for just a moment her mental voice whispered directly into his mind. You're welcome, brave human. You're all far more remarkable than you know. Then she was gone, leaving Purred alone with the stars and a future suddenly full of impossible possibilities.